taking the doctor for a walk. Man, I could see the beautiful pink ripples that were in the sky earlier. It was quite, I was like, oh yeah, gotta run out there and get that going. So here we are, me and Dr. Chunks, enjoying the sun as it's coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can see all around. Look from here. It's cool. It's breezy out. But then the sun is gracing its presence. It's allowing us to be graced by its presence. The heat is on its way. It's funny how we need heat, light, and water to make things live here on this planet. You ever wonder why they call it a planet though? Maybe because they planned it? Just crazy thoughts. The sun is coming up. Look at that. Cloudy day though. It's a cloudy day. What's wrong with my dog? What's he doing? Walking in the park? Is he bothering your dog? No? Just asking. It's an off-leash park. So we got a guy up ahead who's apparently doesn't like my dog in the park, but telling me to call my dog back. When clearly Chunks has no interest in his dog. If you can see up ahead. Look at him. He's telling me to call my dog back. Watch this. Well, he's supposed to be listening. He's right over here. Right there. Honestly, some people are so whiny when it comes to their animals because they automatically assume by looking at this, look, hey, this gorgeous animal, look at him. Yes, they can be not really aggressive, but territorial around their owners. Right? And you got your little Wan dog up there. Let me show you up there. The Wan dog. Right over there. And he has a problem with my dog walking in the same park as his. Anyways, here we are, enjoying this beautiful sunrise. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the key rays coming off of that. I think that's what Buddy called it. This is the time to take in energy, to open your eyes, to intake the sun. Don't do like what they're telling you. Oh, wear sunglasses, wear sunscreen, wear all this stuff that's going to not allow you to receive anything. This is kind of a dull sunrise, but it's still a sunrise nevertheless. And It looks amazing. Come here. Let me see. Let me see. I just had to harness the gorgeous one. Hi. You don't want to say hi, Chunks. You go. Go and enjoy. Enjoy the frolicking. I'm going to enjoy the sun. Look at the rays coming off. All these rays all around. This is going to be a short one because it's a cloudy day. So you only get that little crack in between there to get the sun. The sun's already kind of up, but you can see the bottom of it right now. And I firmly believe if you stare into the sun that I see red when I stare into the sun, purple coming off and orange. And I'm pretty sure you don't see what I see on the phone and the recording. But that's basically going to be the sunrise this morning, because we're not going to see it at least till 1 o'clock today. If all this overcast goes away, like look, you see all these ripples in the sky? I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but you see the rippling here? That's caused by electromagnetic frequencies, and that's how they modify the weather. And you see how it's hazy over here. Well, look at right above me. It looks like the frequency that you would see in the sand on a beach, like when the waves are hitting it. It's just like, that's why you get this like pattern here. This is obviously being affected by something else, not natural, right? And you can see you have this like staggered wave-like pattern. Not the way clouds are normally supposed to be. Not the way clouds are normally supposed to be distributed in our skies. See, I remember when I was growing up, we never had like hazy like days like this. Like I'm sure there was a couple, but like it was usually you would sit in the grass, look up at the sky, and watch the clouds as they change, because they were like basically like cotton balls floating in the air, and you would watch them just like morph into things. But nowadays we got this shit, right? This is, in my opinion, not normal. And I've been talking about this since about 2014, 2015. A lot of people think I'm nuts talking about it, but you know, they do say things like, oh, we want to control the weather by 2030. And to think that they're not practicing without you knowing, that's an interesting concept. I think we're just silly, not paying attention. And there's a reason why they call it paying attention, because it costs you that moment that you could be doing something else with your life to pay attention. So pay attention to your surroundings. Like, we could have a full sunrise right now if the clouds weren't so bleh, right? But see, just using common sense, when the clouds are like this, they're usually sucking up moisture from the ground so that it can rain. And here in Calgary, it hasn't rained much in the last year. Like it rained in the spring, like how it's supposed to. It snowed in the winter, like how it's supposed to. You know, the leaves fell in the fall, like how it's supposed to. And the summer came in the summer, like how it's supposed to. And the interesting thing is the loaded words that we use. Like, the climate is changing. Well, the climate's always changing. That's the interesting part about it all, right? It's called spring, summer, winter, fall, right? That's when the changes happen. But they base these fear words on that mentality. Fear words. Fear words. And you know what? We are the only animals or mammals or whatever you want to call it on the face of this planet that are constantly in fear. That's the interesting. Fear, you got to go to work, pay your bills, feed your kids. Fear, 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 fear. Every other animal, once the fear is gone, like the threat is no longer there, then they're not in fear anymore. But human beings, for some reason, are constantly in a state of fear. And it's very interesting that we allow ourselves to be programmed in that way. Because it is a programming. There's a reason why they call it television programming. I'm going to tell you a vision, and then I'm going to program you into believing that it's real. So I find that to be a very interesting concept, that they're literally telling you what they're doing, and people are going, no, they would never do. Why? What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose? Well, because if they can keep you in fear, they can keep you getting up and going to your job, going and doing all these things, when we are the ones that gave them the power. That's the thing. People don't realize that. They work for us. But now they're telling us what to do. And we're going, okay, I'm going to listen to you because you know best. I'm going to go to a doctor and they're going to doctor me. What does that mean? To change what you originally were. Right? Now don't get me wrong here. Now, the word doctor is that of someone who is receiving a ship at its docking port, right? And we are vessels, ships, that contain a cargo, a spiritual body, a spiritual mind, and we seem to have somewhere along the lines completely lost what we are supposed to be doing while we are here. Maybe we're the caretakers of this planet and we've been tricked into destroying it. Who knows, right? They don't tell you anything that's true. Everything's a lie. Everything's made up. Anyways, this is the guy here. Let's confront him. Chunks. Is there a problem with my dog? Huh? Hello? You had no problem telling me to call my dog back 5 minutes ago. I guess there's no problem. Just telling people what to do. I know my dog. I know when I put him on a leash, when I hang on to him. It's not because I want him to be antisocial. It's just because of the fact that he likes to run up to dogs kind of aggressively, even though he's not really trying to be aggressive. Alright, gorgeous animal. Close. Here. Let me see. Are you listening? Let me see. Good day. You can have your smells if you want.
He doesn't touch the frisbees are good.
Yeah. He's fine. It's just I don't like him running because I can't break that habit of him running up to dogs.
Oh yeah.
Like really fast, and I don't want him to like take anybody out.
Oh yeah, because he's quite the big boy.
Yeah, he could take anybody out. Like,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
he's fine. See, he's almost not even interested. He's more
Wait.
curious. He's like 90 pounds now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
You can come say hi.
Yeah, you can.
Say hi, sweetheart.
He's perfectly fine. He doesn't even care about the frisbee. He just like wants to see dogs, but he sometimes rushes in too fast, right? He's a bigger one, I've been told. Thank you. I feed him like raw, and whatever I cook, like I've changed my diet for him. It's great for them. You too. Yeah, so as you can see, Chunks has no issues of socializing with people. It's just some people get a little butt hurt thinking that this gorgeous animal is going to devour their dog because of their mentality. And the mentality is literally like that shark mentality. All sharks are bad. I watched Jaws 1,000 times and everybody dies in that movie. Well, that's the thing about television, is they're telling you a mind concept that now you've taken on as a fear. And fear only lives in the mind. Only. It doesn't live anywhere else. You know, in any other animal on the face of the planet, fear leaves at the moment that the threat is gone. So if you look into the animal kingdom, like a gazelle or an elk or anything, it just lives life. And then you look at us who are supposed to be smarter than animals, how easily we're manipulated into believing that fear is constant. And that's where I come in with my mentality and how I think, because I ask these questions. I'm like, why do we live like that? This makes no sense. How is it that every time we elect somebody into power, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to revamp the whole system, but they work for the system. They don't work for you, even though they're supposed to. But that's where our power comes in. That's where we are the ones that can create change, because we're the living man, the living woman, right? None of this bullshit LGBTQ, whatever. Can't even say it, because I don't want to say the alphabet while I'm trying to describe somebody, right? I just want to be like, you're a man, you're a woman. And so now you have a system that was put in place for us to have them serve us. And now it's the other way around, and everyone's like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Oh, just do what they say. Just do. Oh, mandate. Mandate is a contract between you and another party. And the way this contract, it's kind of like a verbal contract, right? If you adhere to the contract or the mandator, then you are taking on the contract that they're asking you to fulfill, right? It's like signing by doing. Right? And people don't seem to understand or comprehend it. I hate the word understand, because to understand is to stand underneath something of higher power. And the only higher power I see, look, the only higher power is it's risen. It's alive, the dog. We are the higher powers. That's what we need to get through our heads. You don't hire somebody to come into your house and do work, contractual work, and then they own your house, right? But for some reason, we have adopted that mentality to, oh, well, he came and fixed my plumbing, now he owns my house, right? The house, the body, is what we are, right? And we need to really pay attention. Key word, pay attention. And listen, I am not no English major or scholar. When I graduated high school, they gave me my last 6 credits just to get me out of the school. But I was one of those kids that was easily bored, not to mention a lot of shit was going on at home, so I would act out at school. I would also be diabolical and do all kinds of crazy stuff to entertain myself. But now, because I asked questions when I was younger, and the key question to ask always in your life is why? 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 Someone tells you to do something, why do you want me to do that? Right? Give me a purpose. Give me an understanding. You know? Well, not understanding, an acknowledgement, some comprehension towards what we're talking about. You know, that's what we need to kind of get back to. But when we live this life of distraction, it makes it so hard for us to move forward and live a life of freedom, because you're forever bound by the distracted ideologies that they've been shoving down your throat, whether it's religion, it's war here, it's war there. And then they have the audacity to tell you about climate change and then go give money to somebody else to help fight their friggin' wars. That blows my mind. Yes, war is no good. Don't get me wrong. Right? I don't support it, because generations of people have died that had knowledge that they could have passed down to our children, to our fathers, and that's how they divide and conquer us. Because what they're doing is trying to control you in their system. The system that they created, that they're like, okay, this is the one size fits all that's going to work for everybody, right? Because you know that they're doing that. Because that's literally what they're trying to do in movies like The Matrix. Like, everybody's eating the same crap. And when you go to the grocery store, my question why is, when did we lose organic food and then had the choice of genetically modified? Shouldn't it have always been organic? And why do I have to pay this ridiculous price so that I can eat healthy food in the 21st century that we live in? Ever thought about that? Why? Why do I have to make that choice? And when did we vote to say, okay, get rid of all my healthy food and sell me the shit? Sell me the garbage. Because think about it, sugar. The reason why it's white, right? Think about this. The reason why sugar is white, flour is white, and a lot of these products are white, like because they have no nutrients in them. They've been sucked out like a drug dealer that will literally have pure whatever and then cut it with something to make more of it so they can get more profit, is why all these things are white. And so now we're eating modified starch, eating sugar that's like got no nutrient value in it, but is addictive as like cocaine and things like crack, right? And they know that. They know that. They've done studies on this shit all through the 50s, the 60s, Vietnam era, and like now we have issues with possible World War III. What do you think they're doing? They're testing all these robotic weapons. These soldiers are getting bombs dropped on them while they're sleeping. Tell me about Geneva Convention, whether they're Russian, Ukraine, Chinese, whatever you want to call it. That's wrong, in my opinion. War is wrong, in my opinion. But how these machines are being paid and the blood sacrifices of humanity, that's the problem. And if you support either side is wrong. We should not support war, period. Because you want to talk about climate change? The biggest climate change in this planet has been war, okay? We have climate change right now under the sea that's leaking toxic waste that hasn't been cleaned up since 80 years ago. So, I don't know, call me crazy, but I like to consider myself to be a realist. I like to consider myself to be someone that uses a little bit of common sense that apparently isn't common anymore. And then we're being told and force-fed all this crap shoved down our throat, and we're supposed to believe that what's up is down and what's down is friggin' up. And that I am not going to support. So, you know what? Thank you for watching this crazy rant, but maybe I'm going to continue to do this. I don't know. I'm just trying to make content and get people to think for themselves and not think because someone else is telling you to think a certain way, right? So, with that said, as you can see, the sun is now blocked by all the crazy, like, look at the sky. Does that make any sense? Do you see how it's, maybe this is a better view. Do you see how it's all like rippled right back here? Like the sand, like the water hitting the beach. You know how you get the ripples? Because the vibration of the water is rippling the sand. So what's rippling the sky? Let's just say it might be electromagnetic waves, right? But if you look in the distance, you see streak after streak after streak, like a sandy beach in the sky. As above, so below, right? So they tell you we want to control the weather by 2030. I won't take that from them. I think that's exactly what they want to do. But, it's up to us to make the change. We're the ones that have the power to change things. And if you think about how we've gotten to where we are today, just 1 second, think about it. We're the ones who created all of this. Look, every house here in this area was not built by a machine, was not built by God, but maybe one God. Was not built by any of those things, it was built by mankind. And we were the ones that used our blood, sweat, tears, and hands to build this shit. Cars you see driving down the road, we did it. Tanks in another country blowing up shit, we did it. Right? We have this immense power to create. And somebody is controlling that power through suggestive selling, basically telling you, oh, be afraid of this. Oh, go do that. Oh, we need to band together and eliminate the enemy. Well, I've had friends in the past that have come into my life and have basically, talk shit about another friend of mine. Like, oh, hey, that guy right there? Oh, you got to watch out. He's terrible. He's like one of them sharks, Kill you in any second. Create that fear within you. And then you start cultivating these thoughts. Cultivating. Think about that. That's a farming tactic. It's the same thing that you're doing in your mind. You start cultivating things so that you can manifest them into reality. This is reality. And we live in this constant fear in our mind that the reality is there's always something coming to get us. And the problem is, the way we're supposed to be thinking is together. How can we fix this problem? Look at this. Just bear with me for a second. You have a cancer society. You have the Diabetes Foundation. You have, just name any kind of disease. Dis-ease is also the key word. Your body is in dis-ease. And so now you have all these societies. For what, 20 years? Nothing's changed? It's just gotten worse? But you don't think there's a plan? You don't think that they're like, well, just keep giving us our money. We got to keep fueling the building. And you know what the amazing thing about this? A lot of you people who are interested in religion are going to hate me for this. But that same mentality happens in the church. Because they build the house first and screw the people. Right? But in the same book that they're reading from, where two or more are gathered, two or more, you only need two. God is there. And the reason being is because I believe, like how it says in their book, that I am in you as you are in me. God created man in his image. So, what would happen? I have to call him because I don't want him running up to a dog. And I can't really run up to him. But so God created us in his image. I am in you, you are in me. We have the same abilities and powers that he has. We just haven't tapped into this yet. We haven't figured this out yet because we're still allowing other people to tell us how to think. Maybe they know that we have that power, and that's why they distract us from actually achieving our higher self, our higher goals, the things that we want. Because guaranteed, people don't want war. The only people that have war, come. The only people that are involved in war are those who don't have enough, who are lack. Yeah, just say hi, Chunks. See? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hello.
Morning.
Good day.
Didn't bring us a cup of coffee?
Well, you know, in the summertime, we actually put a few drinks in his bag. Yeah, and then I'll call him over. I'll be like, "Drink, Caddy," and he'll come over. And
Really? Good for
we'll just, I'm thinking of making a insulated bag for drinks. You have a great day. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, subscribing, sharing, because this is the only way I'll ever be able to get any of this out. But I feel that we need people to talk about common sense stuff. And even if we create a community where we can all collaborate to make this world a better place, because I guarantee by shoveling money into the pockets, which again, money is a promissory note, and it's just a way of indebting the country in this psychological way, because money is literally just a $20 bill is the same size as 100, just a different color, and they tell you, oh, this is worth that, that is that worth that. Just like my bread is worth more than your gold because you're starving. Think about that. So if we can get together as a community and start brainstorming on how to make this world a better place, that's the only way it's going to happen. It's not going to happen any other way. We can't always be looking for a Christ, a Jesus, an Allah, a whatever to save us when we're here and we need to save ourselves. That's my opinion, right? We need to become the best versions of ourselves that we can be, and there is no other thing that we can actually strive for other than that. Know thyself is an important thing. And I've seen relationships, I've seen addictions, I've seen friendships broken up, all because people weren't being who they are supposed to be. Like attracts like. So if you're in a shitty state of mind, guess what happens? You're gonna attract more of that shitty state of mind. It's like stubbing your toe in the morning, right? You wake up, oh, the rest of the day is shot because it started out bad. But that's the part of manifesting that we're not paying attention to. Keyword, paying attention. Right? We're not paying attention because we're allowing ourselves to be distracted by all the constant bombardment of TV, of internet, of radio, of news, telling you that you're not good enough and that you need somebody who's a savior to come and save this planet. But the only person that can save you is you. No one else. Right? I have a saying that I was telling my buddy who just recently went through a traumatic experience. And I said to him, and the crazy thing is that it literally, I felt like it inspired him. But we come into this world with nothing, and we leave with nothing. So if you can adopt the mindset that your nothing is your everything, so be happy for everything. Because everything that comes into your life is either strengthening you, teaching you, or empowering you to make changes, to do something that is meaningful. And what I find interesting about a lot of the religions that people practice, and I was very religious at one point in my life, but a lot of the religions that people practice are basically religions that say that after you're done living, that's when you're going to live your best life, which is crazy to me. Because, you know, coming from somebody who is very like low self-esteem, low motivation, didn't enjoy a lot of my experiences in life, and I allowed them to hinder my progress. But I've come to that crossroads that has said, stop, take a minute, have a need, you know? And and reflect on where you want to head. What do you want to create while you're here? Because God gave us choice, right? But it's interesting that the choices we've picked is to live like this. Like, look, all these houses are close together. And to be honest, this is an area that is not that close together. But if you go to other areas, you got 4 feet from your next door neighbor. Like, look at this house across the street. Look at that. The fence between there and there, that's got to be at least 10 feet. Next door neighbor, 10 feet. Big yard. You could actually grow your own food in these areas. You could still down there, but look at how close everything is down there, right? We're just shoved into boxes, stacked on top of each other, like a lithium battery, just constantly in fear, going, "Oh, well, I hope that anything he says isn't true, though, is going to do better for us. Oh, I hope Polyev is going to save us. I hope Jesus is going to save us. I hope Allah is going to..." Everyone wants somebody to save us. But it's us that has to fucking save us. Excuse me. I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of seeing people in constant fear. Oh, mask on, mask off. You know? And mask is a definition of a person. If you look up person in an old dictionary, it's basically a mask that an actor will use on stage to take on a persona, right? And now you're acting as that persona. Like a police officer when he goes to bed at night. What is he? A police officer still? No, he's an everyday average man. Until he puts on the badge and the gun and the everything. That's when he starts acting in the persona of that police officer, of that soldier, of that doctor, of that, all these different personas that we take on, but we never act like we're like ourselves. That's the thing that blows my mind, and I'm guilty of it. 100%, I'm guilty of it. I lived a persona for a long time that I thought is the persona that I should project into the world, and I was wrong. But I was told to be that. And that's where my mind started to shift. That's where I started changing the way I look at things. Because, you know the saying, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Well, that's very true. Because you could read a book filled with knowledge, right? And if your mind isn't ready to comprehend the words, like let's just say you can't spell them and you can barely read them, you won't get the full grasp of what you're reading until your mind is ready. That's why it's called a mindset, right? So as soon as your mind is ready, that is when you will start to make changes in your life. So the things you look at will change. So if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now the interesting thing about manifestation, which I just really started to like crack the egg on this year, that back in December, is manifestation is a clear and it has to be clear or obvious to the eye or mind in order for it to come into fruition. Fruition probably being where we live, we cultivate. Like you have an imagination to build a house like that, and then it comes to life as soon as you put it together, right? But we've thrown in things to stop our manifestation, like the need for money, the need for all these other things in a vast, resourceful land that, you know, you could grow food anywhere. The side of this hill isn't being used. And guess what? You would probably have to use less water because it's downhill. You could build an entire garden from there all the way to there. How many people will that feed? Right? So don't tell me there's not enough. there's just not enough people doing things that are making a change. They're all just buying into the, oh, well, there's not enough. They told us there's not enough. And we need factories, and we need money, and we need all these ideologies to run this cultivation process that mankind is so endowed in creating. But here we are, manifesting things that we don't want. So, the other word I looked up was ship's cargo. What is a ship's cargo? It's a manifest, and that manifest is a detailed invoice or statement of a ship's cargo, which is exactly like manifest. And they said a ship or vessel. So we are vessels. We are a container. Our body is that. It contains our mind. It contains this walking apparatus that I am learning to enjoy more and more in this life. And I feel we need to do so more often, because where we're headed is what we created. And we should never be mad at anyone else for what we created, but we should just change the way we create things. Like, enjoy the day. Go out. Live life. Be the best version of you. Enjoy the sunsets in the morning. You know, like, why else would they get you to go to work at 8 and 9, you know, just before sunset? You don't have time to take in that energy. You don't have time to relax. And then you give the best part of your day to someone else when you could be creating all day long. Like, look at the skies again. Look at that sky. See that? The rippling again? Yes, they are not changing anything in the world. Yes, no, they only want the best for us. I don't think so. Telling us about carbon. Well, pretty sure what I'm standing underneath, this thing, you know, what we have everywhere. There's another one there. There's another one there. You know what they're called? They're called trees. And guess what they absorb? Carbon. You see this grass that's underneath the snow? It absorbs carbon too. You know, so if they really wanted to make changes in this world, they would create more of that, right? Look, we could have a bunch of trees here. We could have a bunch that would absorb carbon. But no, just find an excuse to keep paying us to keep doing nothing, right? Oh my God, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm not going to continue. This is 30 minutes of me ranting. And if you guys want to see more of this, just make sure you leave some kind of a comment, or maybe things that you would like to see on this channel. And I'll do my best to either make them happen or inspire other things that I'm going to do. So thank you for watching. You guys have a great day. I have stuff to do with my dog, and that's what we're gonna go and go ahead with today. Make our lives better. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much.